All right, we're at episode 3 of Miss Marvel, which means we fall right at the beginning of the category of SDSF. That means shoe dropping, shit hitting the fan.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Will, and I'm back to do a spoiler review for episode 3 of Miss Marvel. This is entitled Destined. Pretty sure it's entitled Destined. I did actually take notes this time because there's a lot in this episode. Look at this list of notes I have. See that? That's all notes from the episode. It's so much. This is going to be a spoiler review like all of these episode reviews have been. So if you have not watched the episode yet, pause this video and go watch the episode. I have just watched it a second time myself. And then come back and hear my overall thoughts and spoilery bits from the episode. And if you are new to the channel and this is your first time, hi, how's it going? My name's Will. And I do geeky stuff on the internet weekly. I talk about movies, television, I do reviews, reactions, discussions, gaming, drinking. But usually all wrapped around geekiness. So if that happens to be your bag, why not subscribe to the channel? On the road to 500 subscribers this year. I can't get there without you. So if you would, help a brother out. It's Pride Month. Let's help each other out. Let's be kind to each other. And we live in an unkind world. So it's nice to have a brief escape and talk about some comic book stuff. So let's jump right in, shall we? So episode 3 picks up not at the immediate events of last week's episode, but we get our first flashback to 1945 in British-occupied India, where we see Najma, who is Kamran's mother, looking in a temple along with a few other people, trying to find the actual bangle that Kamala now wears. And they are met by Aisha, which is Kamala's great-grandmother, showing the connection there, and talking about how the bangle is the key for them returning home. So we get a lot of lore drop within the first few minutes of the episode. One big thing that I missed at the start of this episode, the first time I watched it, was that when the camera pans out, after they discover the bangle on a blue hand, which seems like it's possibly a Kree, they pan out and you actually see on the ground the symbol of the 10 rings. And if you all know and remember, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the 10 Rings was all about the 10 Ring organization that was first featured in Iron Man 1 and was about the conflict between Shang-Chi and his father, who was the leader of the 10 Rings. And the 10 Rings were confirmed to be from some sort of alien source. And we get a confirmation that the people that helped Kamala, who were friends with Aisha, are actually called the Clandestine, and they're from the Nord dimension. So these are extra-dimensional people or beings who have been exiled to our plane of existence, and they're well over 100 years old. They also go by another name, not just the Clandestine, they also go by Jinn, which we've gotten teases about Jinn during the first few episodes of Miss Marvel as being referred to as ghosts or genies or demons. So not giving off good vibes, especially for Kamala, who is discovered that she is part Jinn, as her grandmother Aisha was also from the Nord dimension. So she's not 100% Jinn or 100% clandestine or, from the Nord dimension. She has it in her blood, which is why I was able to unlock the powers once she put on the bangle. Does that mean that her mother is also part Jinn? Most likely, because it seems like it's only restricted to her mother's side, which would explain some of the relationship strife between her mother and her grandmother, and why her great-grandmother disappeared all those years ago. So we continue through the episode. A lot of this episode really focus on family and the family dynamic that we've gotten introduced to in the first 2 episodes with the Khan family, how we are right at the cusp of Amir's wedding, which is a big event, and it's a very happy event too, which is really cool to see. Bruno, of course, being Kamala's friend, agrees to help try to find a way to send the Jinn back to their own dimension, but also has some concerns about the potential risk of sending them back to their dimension using the bangle and what kind of power is required. Kamala really wanting to be helpful, really wanting to do good, is struggling with a lot of her choices within this episode. Choices of keeping things from family and friends, having to deal with the fact that the Department of Damage Control is hunting her down and starting to affect her personal life with the DODC going to the mosque and trying to muscle their way in, being super disrespectful. Like, they are not good people. And it takes Nakia, kind of stepping up to the plate, and also which helps her get onto the board at the mosque, which is really exciting news, but she feels like Kamala's not really there for her at this point. At least that's the vibe I'm getting, and that kind of gets exacerbated really badly towards the end of the episode with their relationship because of Nakia discovering Kamala's secret without Kamala actually telling her, even though Kamala does try to tell her a few times within the first few episodes. The family dynamic of this series, it's so good. And it's a joy to watch, but it's also going to be kind of a gut punch when I know there's going to be that moment of strife that really kind of puts things in jeopardy, their relationship in jeopardy, especially with her mother, because obviously her mother has some history and knowledge about her family's legacy. I mean, they don't talk about their grandmother Aisha, and she has a strained relationship with her mother, which is mentioned during the party, like the pre-wedding party before the actual wedding of Amir and his fiance. We also see, Kamala struggling with trying to do good. Like I said, it takes the I forget the technical term or the actual term, and I do apologize, but the leader of their mosque, who actually kind of imparts some wisdom on her. He said that good is not a thing that you are, it is a thing that you do. And I think that's a really good saying, and it's very true. It's like, you're not just good, it's the actions that you do are good. And he reminds her that, yeah, people might have some issues with, the person that we're talking about, but the kid that she saved, that this person saved, probably wouldn't think the same way. So I really like that sort of moment of reaching out to other members of the community to really kind of help her kind of focus. Because early on, when Bruno's explaining the risks, she's ready to just plow headfirst into it, very similar to her hero, Carol Danvers. But Bruno reminds Kamala that might not be a good thing, because then she's being reckless as well, and that maybe it's not good that you are her. And I feel like this is a lot of foreshadowing for the Marvels, where she's really going to get to interact with her and probably realize, yeah, it's good that you're not her. You need to be yourself. You need to be your own hero. You can't just model yourself after somebody else. But she tells Kamran that, hey, we just need some more time. And Kamran, to his credit, and I kind of dogged him pretty bad, but to his credit, he completely understands. But also, unfortunately, finds out that his mother has been deceiving him as well with her intentions and the risks that she's or the lengths that she's willing to go in order to get back home. We still don't know why they were exiled, and I'm pretty sure it's a legitimate reason why they were exiled, which will probably be discovered within the next episode or two. However, this causes her mother to go completely off and decides to storm the reception of the wedding, which is a terribly awkward moment. But before that action set piece happens, we do get a wonderful Bollywood dance sequence with all the family and friends to celebrate their wedding. And it's a really cool scene. It was really enjoyable to watch. I loved it. And we start getting a little bit more teases about Kamala and Bruno's relationship maybe being a little bit more, because Kamala asked Bruno to dance. And Bruno did tell Kamala that he's planning on going to do the immersion program at Caltech, which, she seemed like she was a little bit upset about. But again, this is all about people not being upfront and honest with what's happening, because she was like, why didn't you tell me? He was like, you seem like you were too busy. Same thing kind of happens with her and Nakia and her family at the end of the episode, but we'll get there after that awesome action set piece, which is set to Living on a Prayer by Bon Jovi, not Brown Jovi, who were at the reception, which I thought was really funny. The Jinn show up at the reception, so Kamala has to pull a fire alarm to get people out of there before potentially anyone gets hurt, because Kamran says that her mother and them will kill everybody. So they ain't playing around. But we get Kamala trying to fend them off and fight them off, utilizing her abilities a little bit more, which is really nice. Bruno tries to help, but he gets hurt. And in the process, they end up teaming up with Kamran to try to stop them. That doesn't happen until the Department of Damage Control shows up and apprehends all the Jinn. But Kamala and Bruno make their escape and run into Nakia, who sees Kamala using her powers, and then is obviously upset because she has reservations about Miss Marvel, or, you know, Nightlight, and to find out that A, it's your best friend, B, your best friend didn't tell you up front, and knowing that Bruno also knows, she holds in her frustration to allow Kamala to escape and help Bruno to safety as well. And then we get Kamala returning home, obviously to the frustration and dismay of not only her brother, whose wedding technically she ruined, and also her parents, who are clearly disappointed that she won't be upfront and tell her what's going on. But there's not much left to hide. They know that they saw her with these other people that got taken into custody. They just want to know what's going on and just want to be there to help her. Sort of bringing back the whole full circle of the episode of talking about how, if, you know, when you have your family, you're not alone, or you don't have to do this alone when you have people that care about you. That, I'm paraphrasing, but you get what I'm saying. But yeah, so again, she feels like she has to do this by herself, and that's really gonna, I feel like, bite her in the butt within the next episode or two. But I do have theories about how we're going to get to that finale and what that's going to mean for her relationship with her parents and with her family. Because I don't think this is going to remain a secret for too much longer. Obviously it can't, because she is under the age of 18. So it would make no sense for her to be doing all this stuff without her parents' permission, or at least knowledge of it, or at least her mother's knowledge of it. Because her mother is definitely tied into the mystery of her family, because this greatly involves her. And this whole thing, I feel like, is really going to help repair relationships, because obviously, like I said earlier, her mother has a strained relationship with her mother, and they have a strained relationship with the grandmother or great grandmother, and there's already relationship issues between the mom and Kamala. So I mean, I can definitely see this turning into a globetrotting adventure, which we found out at the end of the episode, where Kamala's grandmother tells them that they need to get to Karachi.
Get your ass to
Karachi. Because there's a vision that Kamala and Najma see of a train. It's very similar to the vision when Kamala was at the table and hearing this story about Sana, and she said that she saw the vision too at the same time, which I'm starting to guess that maybe her mom also saw the vision. But then that would kind of confuse me with the whole confrontation at the end of the episode. There's been a lot of confrontations of family in these first 3 episodes, and I'm curious to see how we transition to an overseas adventure, because clearly she's not going by herself. That just doesn't make any sense. So that's the basic gist of the episode. There's a lot of connections, a lot of information and lore drop in this 3rd episode, which is pretty on point for most of the Disney Plus series that we've gotten so far. Like episode 3, episode 4 are usually the lore drop moments, or the moments where the story really picks up, and we can definitely see the story picking up here. I can see the Jinn trying to manipulate damage control into helping them capture Kamala, because that's who the DODC really want. They want the enhanced individual, and I think that that's going to be a play that they're going to make. I'm pretty sure next episode we're definitely going to get discussion of the bangle and of Kamala's powers with her parents, because how else is she supposed to get to Karachi? How else? I don't know. And my theory about the finale, because we've seen the final outfit of Miss Marvel and how it's designed, and it looks very homemade, which makes sense because she's not friends with anybody who's super rich. So how's she gonna get her costume? It looks very homemade, and I really feel like by the 4th or 5th episode, the family's gonna know about her powers, and obviously tell her, like, you can't do this alone. We're a family. We love you. We're gonna be here for you, and we need to protect you, or we need to help you protect yourself. So they already teased about making an outfit for the first episode with AvengerCon. It would stand to believe that her mom is going to play a part in making her Miss Marvel outfit, and really kind of accept who her daughter has become, and also accept her family legacy, and probably repair the relationship with her and her mother, and while at the same time repairing the relationship with between her and Kamala, and also Kamala repairing a relationship with Nakia because Nakia's relationship with her is strained, and I feel like the community itself is probably going to know that she's Miss Marvel. It kind of makes sense because, you know, this community has displayed that they are a tight-knit group and everybody kind of knows everybody. So secrets are kind of hard to hide, but they also seem like they are willing to protect each other. Like, you know, most tight-knit communities should be and are. So I think it's going to be kind of like, if you ever played the Miles Morales Spider-Man PS4, PS5 game, I feel like I'm going to get that vibe where Harlem like steps up and is there for Spider-Man. Very similar to how I feel like the Muslim community in the series is going to step up and be there for Kamala and probably know that she's Miss Marvel. And again, it's going to be that, hey, somebody who looks like me is protecting our community. And I think that's going to be a really cool way of spinning it, but it also allow her to do adventures, being that she's under the age of 18. It just kind of makes the most sense to me. It's like Kate Bishop was a different story because Kate was already over 18, but she is still younger than most of the adult Avengers. So it makes sense she can go off and do stuff because she is a grown adult, basically. Or she's at least over 18. Where Kamala is under 18, so it wouldn't make sense for her to go doing the same things. So I think that's how they're probably going to spin it. That's just a theory anyway. Again, it's midway through the series. I'm pretty sure this is the point where we start theory crafting. But overall, I think the episode was pretty solid. It definitely gave us the most information drop and understanding about what's happening. I'm a little bummed, though, because I'm seeing less and less of the, you know, sort of like the actual visual style that they used in the first episode to great effect compared to how we've gotten with this episode, where it's kind of going more closer to like a normal shooting style, kind of like what we've seen with everything else. I'm hoping we kind of get a little bit more of that. I love the cultural representation that this series has done. It is, you know, unabashedly and unapologetically a story about a Pakistani family of immigrants and, you know, second, third generation children growing up in New Jersey, balancing their own cultural heritage with Americanization and stuff like that. I love that sort of representation. And I'm glad that we're at this point now where it doesn't feel like they're doing it as like a cash grab. It is just like it's the character. This is the character where she lives and who her family is and who her community is, and it is her. It is nothing. It's not like, oh, we have to explain this to anybody. No, this is who she is. And I think that's wonderful and fantastic. I'm very curious how we're going to get her balancing the superhero life with her family life, because I don't think it's going to be a secret identity situation. I really think at least the family is going to know, and at least the friends are going to know. It's the only thing that makes sense, and it wouldn't shock me if the rest of the community knows and the community rallies behind her as their superhero. And I can see that happening, and I think that would be a wonderful way of handling the character's age and also helping the character retain a secret identity to the outside world, but in her world, it's not a big deal. And it's actually super dope, and it would be cool if the community really stands up with her and stuff like that. I think that would be amazing. The fact that they've tied it into a family thing is, again, I think a smart play, where it's not an accident, it is a lineage thing. I'm glad we got the teases of it possibly being something from the Creek that would tie into the whole Captain Marvel story and make total sense. And it would make more sense that she would want to understand that side of her to be a part of the Marvels, be a part of that sequel, besides just being there and just being with her hero in that instance. And I'm curious, again, still how that final episode is probably going to tie directly into it. We might even get a cameo from Tashana Lynch or Brie Larson, maybe. I think that would be really cool if we got a cameo from one of those two, especially in the finale. Not necessarily to like save the day, but just like, hey, how's it going? We got to talk. that sort of thing. And then like, oh, cut to black, and next time she'll appear is in the Marvels. Something like that. I wasn't expecting the 10 Rings connection. So they hinted that the 10 Rings might be trying to communicate to something beyond what they know. And that's something that even Captain Marvel didn't know because she was in the post-credit scene for Shang-Chi. Spoiler alert for that. I like that sort of connection, and we even got a little bit of connection to Dr. Selvig about the paper, about the energy dispersal that Bruno read in order to kind of warn Kamala about rushing in to do this without really thinking about it. And I really like those elements. I'm really enjoying the series at this point. The pacing I'm a little concerned about, but that's been kind of the trope with most of the series. I'm just really happy that we are at the point now where representation doesn't feel like it's just a cheap trick, and it's all about the character and the story and the world that she lives in. And I think that's wonderful. And I'm very happy about that. So that is my spoiler review for episode 3 of Ms. Marvel. So let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Are you enjoying the series? Is it not your cup of tea? Let me know maybe why, if it doesn't click with you. That's totally fine. If, you know, not everything's going to click with everybody. And that totally makes sense. But, you know, I'm curious to see your thoughts on the series, and maybe if, you know, what thoughts you might have with the finale coming up, because we've got a few more weeks. And hopefully I can get these videos out a little bit quicker since the Obi-Wan Kenobi series has ended, and I don't have to try to do 2 videos at the same time. So let me know those thoughts in the comments down below. As always, thank you so much for watching this and all of my videos. I really do appreciate it. Again, if you're new to the channel and you made it all the way through the video, mazel tov, you get a gold star. And hopefully you did enjoy it. Hopefully you maybe like this video and share it around and subscribe to the channel. I'd really love to hit 500 subscribers, and I can't get there without your help. So if it's not too much trouble, I don't want to be a bank, but it's not too much trouble. You can follow me on a lot of different social media platforms listed at the end of this video. I do have a ton of videos on this channel that you're more than welcome to check out. I've got videos I'm working on that hopefully I will get out within the next couple of days. So keep an eye out for that. Like, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. And as always, until next time, I will catch you later. Hey, thanks for watching this video. If you did like this video, why not give me a thumbs up and share it with your friends? You can subscribe to the channel by clicking on my gorgeous little face right over there. You can follow me on all the various social media platforms right below. And last but certainly not least, if you've got a few extra minutes, why not check out one of the lovely videos floating right over here. Later.